football fans, welcome inside our FanDuel studio here in Los Angeles. And Ed, we are nearly halfway through the season. It is week 8, people. I don't know how that happened, but we're here to bet it. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm Lisa Kerney, alongside our analytics expert, Ed Egros, here with me. The rest of the guys will join us soon to break down the biggest games of the week, hand out best bets, and, of course, give their updated Super Bowl picks. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. It is go time! So make sure you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for your new account, plug in the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, time to kick things off with the 6-1 Buccaneers at the 4-2 Saints. Yes, NFC South, we're calling on you. The Bucs coming off a 38-3 win against Chicago last week. Tom Brady playing some of the best football of his career, leads the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. He is thrilling to watch right now, super dialed in. As for the Saints, they won in Seattle on Monday night with Alvin Kamara racking up 179 total yards on 30 touches. Both of those season highs. The Bucs 5.5-point road favorites in this divisional matchup here. Dave, you're joining us from Keeneland this week. Hello, my friend. Good to have you. Dave and Ed, you guys are the ones betting this one. And Dave, I'm coming to you first.
Well, you know who Tom Brady is not good against? The Saints. As a matter of fact, last year, Tom Brady threw 5 interceptions against the Saints. Total score in those 2 games where the Saints won them both, 62-26. Is this a better team this year for Tom Brady and the Bucs? I don't know. They won the Super Bowl last year, but I think that Sean Payton has the keys to Tom Brady. I'm going to take the Saints in this one. We knew last week they were looking ahead over the Seahawks. They squeaked that one out. It was ugly, but they were looking forward to going back home and beating Tom Brady like they always do. I'm taking the Bucs. I'm taking the Saints, and I'm taking the Saints not just to cover, Ed, to win.
See, that's what you needed, Dave. Just a little bit of fresh air out in Lexington. Enjoy the bluegrass. Enjoy the horsies out there. That's what you needed to get this one right. It's one of those things where a lot of people are probably wondering, wow, defending Super Bowl champs, the Bucs are an absolute machine right now. Why would they only be 5.5 points to the Saints? Well, the good reason is Jameis Winston is outstanding when it comes to short throws. He has the highest passer rating among any quarterback when throws take 2.5 seconds or less. He's also been outstanding in the play-action game, especially throwing to his running back, Alvin Kamara. The defense for Tampa Bay blitzes a lot. How do you beat the blitz? With quick passes, and that's exactly what the Saints are going to do. And this has kind of been the recipe over the last year and change, and it's why the Saints have been so successful. I don't know if I can necessarily recommend a money line pick here, but definitely I think the Saints can cover 5.5.
All right, there's the 5.5. The Saints money line, though, plus 210 right there if you want a little value. And we got to get our right take on this matchup. And we're going to go to you, Cole, for your money line moneymakers coming up a little later in the show. Right now, you're joining us from Chicago to talk about this matchup. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points?
Well, Lisa, it's going to be a reunion in the Pelican State. The Boudin brothers, they are back. Of course, Mark Ingram dealt back to the Saints, and he's hot on the heels of Deuce McAllister becoming the Saints' all-time leading rusher. But we have to look past that and focus on the Pharaoh. Of course, Tom Brady and Tampa, because the best to ever do it has a 7-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and he's on pace to throw for his second 5,000-yard season of his career. And even with the extra game, if my math serves me, 55-25 when it comes to his final total yardage. Ed, you might want to check me on the math there, but either way, Tom Brady's good. So are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That Saints kryptonite, it's out the window. Tampa, they win blowout fashion, 32-14 here.
Okay, there it is. You heard it. That was Cole. And if you roll with Brady and the Bucs and give those points, a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $93. It's right there on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now to the AFC South and the 5-2 Titans, who have won 3 in a row, including back-to-back wins against the Chiefs and Bills. Tennessee now in Indy to take on the 3-4 Colts. This is a rematch of a Week 3 game, that one in Tennessee. Titans won that one 25-16 despite those 3 turnovers. Now the Titans, 1.5-point road underdogs in this one. I love this line, Pony. Where's your money on this matchup?
I don't get it. I mean, other than Pat McAfee and Colts fans, who wants to bet on Indianapolis here? It's one of the most confusing lines of the NFL this season. The Titans just had 2 massive statement wins. What, now they're going to get down? They're going to play down to the competition on the road? They can really end the AFC South division race right here and now by sweeping the Colts. The only time the Titans lost was when both of their wide receivers were out, Dave, like recently. That was to the Jets. I'm going to take them to win the game outright. I don't get this line at all.
Well, did you just not make every point to take Tennessee? I mean, Tennessee, to me, is so much the better team right now. And, Lisa pointed out those 3 turnovers, and they still won. The Colts had 16 points in that game. 10 of them came off of the turnovers. So for me, this is all about the Titans. We know Derrick Henry is on pace right now to break the all-time leading rushing record. He wants it. And with the win here, the Titans would be up 3 with 8 games to play and have the tiebreak on the Colts. Essentially, with the win here, this division is over.
All right, time now, guys, to move on. We're taking it to our research here to the next level. For that, we turn to Next Gen Stats for an analytical perspective on this matchup. The NFL analyzes the location, speed, and acceleration of every player on every play and creates these various data sets that we get to tap into. So, Ed, I'm coming to you. You're our analytics guy. So give us the numbers associated with this Titans-Colts matchup that's going to help us bet this game.
Going back to Sunday Night Football, you could argue Carson Wentz's challenge really was more the weather than it was anything the 49ers were throwing at him. If we take a look at his pass chart from that Sunday night game, yeah, it doesn't exactly pop off the screen. Just 150 passing yards with a completion percentage over expected of negative 0.5%. But more than 30% of his throws were behind the line of scrimmage, and Wentz was patient with his chances when he could go deep. And when he did, he went 2 of 3 and drew 3 defensive pass interference calls. These results suggest Wentz is more comfortable with this Colts infrastructure. He's been there for a few weeks now. He does the most given the conditions, and against a Titans defense that doesn't blitz very much and has had trouble stopping the pass, I think Indianapolis can cover those.
All right, there it is. Awesome stuff from Ed. Great stuff from Next Gen Stats, the next level up. Thank you, guys. Now, you have to do you, though, right? You can fade Ed. Go ahead. Take the Titans. Getting those points, a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $95. And remember, you can make your first bet on the app risk-free. Just sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account using the promo code. It's going to be on your show, on the screen all show long. It's More Ways 1000. You're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, that promo code MOREWAYS 1000. All right, now let's get to the Bengals, sitting at 5-2. So much hype around these guys now. Cincinnati now gets the 1-5 Jets. Cincy has won 4 of 5, including a dominating performance over the Ravens last week. The Bengals hold the number 1 seed in the AFC right now. Look on the other side, the Jets' struggles continued last week. Rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson, left the game with that knee injury. So we've got backup Mike White taking over, throwing for 202 yards, 1 touchdown, and those 2 interceptions at New England. He will make his first career start on Sunday. This one is at MetLife, where the Jets are getting 10.5. Ed, who are you backing in this one?
So this is an unenviable position because we're having to do things with a super small sample size. Mike White only playing part of a game, and now we have to figure out what he's going to be like for a full game against a really good Bengals team. Well, if we look at that performance, his completion percentage over expected was negative 6.5%. Yeah, not a lot of throws there, but still, you want your CPOE to be a good bit better than to have any confidence whatsoever. Joe Burrow was at 3.4%. That's a pretty decent number. But what matters a good bit more are throws that are beyond 10 air yards. Joe Burrow is at 46%, and he's not a great intermediate thrower to begin with, but Mike White is at 38% in terms of his completion percentage beyond 10 air yards. This is going to be a really tough test for the Jets, and I know the Bengals are on a 3rd straight road game, but that's just suppressing the number unnecessarily. I think Cincy can cover the big spread.
Sort of a Bengals orange, not quite, but close enough. Some of those stats you mentioned on Joe Burrow go a long way into why he leads the league right now in yards per pass completion at 13.4. He is on a roll. And look, this is the type of game that a good team normally would look past a bad team. But don't forget, the Bengals have been a bad team for so long. They know what it's like to be in these positions and have good teams come in and thrash them. This is the time for them now to be able to do that and beat up on a bad team. That's exactly what they're going to do. I like the Bengals to win big.
There it is, giving 10.5 on the road. So the Jets are home this week. You just heard the guys bet it, which means the party returns to New Jersey. And of course, the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands is the place to be. The FanDuel Sportsbook open 7 days a week, by the way. Come watch, wager, and win with your favorite teams and players. The Sportsbook located right across the parking lot from MetLife Stadium, so it is super easy to get to. On game day, just hop that free round-trip shuttle from Lot G. And if you don't have a parking pass, it's all good. We're going to have your back there, too. Head to Red's Restaurant in Carlstadt, catch the $10 shuttle to MetLife, then head to Lot G for your free ride to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Mass transit, of course, available as well. Sunday is going to be absolutely hopping, but hey, a heads up and make sure you mark your calendars for this. Get yourself to the FanDuel Sportsbook there at the Meadowlands for the 2021 Breeders' Crown taking place at the Meadowlands Racetrack this Friday and Saturday. Get your friends, come out for an awesome time at the Meadowlands and the FanDuel Sportsbook. Watch, wager, and win, and have tons of fun with us. This is your personal invitation to get there. All right, time now to get to prime time. We're starting with Sunday Night Football. The 5-1 Cowboys are in Minnesota to take on the 3-3 Vikings. Both teams coming off their bye week. We've got a well-rested crowd coming in. Cowboys offense has been absolutely rolling. First in points, first in yards per game. And then you look at the Vikings. Quarterback Kirk Cousins has quietly been having a pretty good season, ranking in the top 10 in yards passing per game, touchdown passes, and completion percentage as well. Here we are, the Cowboys giving 1.5 on the road. Dave, you're on the road. Here I come to you. Who do you have in this Sunday night matchup?
Well, you know, typically a team coming off of a bye, they both are going to play well, but that's not the case for the Minnesota Vikings. They're 3-8 against the spread following a bye week, and this is not the type of team, the Cowboys, that you want to play with a little bit of rust. By the way, the flip side of that, the Cowboys are 12-4 against the spread after the bye. Here are the facts here. The Vikings defense give up 128 rush yards a game. The Cowboys run the ball more than anybody, actually third most a game, over 32 times, averaging tons of yards to carry, plus the Vikings give up 5 yards to carry. They have just too much run game, not to factor what they can do in the air. Look, last year, I admit, the Vikings did beat the Cowboys, but that was with Andy Dalton. They are not going to beat Dak this year. I like the Cowboys.
I don't. You know, there's a stat out there, Kirk Cousins in primetime games, he's terrible. But Dallas has been a different team away from Jerry's world. You know, they played a couple of road games. They beat the Chargers on a last-second field goal. They only scored 20 points. And they needed overtime to beat Mac Jones and the Patriots offense in Foxborough. Minnesota, Dalvin Cook back healthy. I think this is going to be a game that shows you the Vikings are playoff caliber, that they're ready to go back to the postseason. They're going to win this game outright.
All right, you guys, let's get to the bright lights on Monday night now. Great job there on Sunday. Here we turn to the 2-5 Giants. They are in Kansas City to face off against the 3-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are in a bad place, I got to be honest. Offensively and defensively, now I get all hot and bothered about this. Coming off an embarrassing 27-3 loss in Tennessee. Patrick Mahomes' streak of touchdown passes in 31 straight regular season games came to an end. It's the 9th longest streak in league history. Meanwhile, the Giants are coming off their best defensive effort of the season, giving up just 3 points in a 22-point win over the Panthers. Guys, Giants are getting 10 on the road at Arrowhead here. Pony, who you got in this matchup?
Well, this is another one of these lines that looks like it was made for last year's Chiefs team, but when you really peel back the layers of the Giants, you realize that all of their weapons on offense are hurt. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard has a hamstring injury. Evan Ingram might get traded. He could get held out of this game for the deadline. I mean, they're really down to very few weapons, plus the left tackle, Andrew Thomas, is hurt. The Chiefs have beaten themselves a lot this year, but they're 2-0 with blowout wins against NFC East teams. I think they make it 3 for 3 and they cover the big number.
Yeah, Pony, virtual mash unit for Big Blue. Sunday at Arrowhead. It's going to be a redemption story for Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. We know last week a trio of turnovers, 2 came from Mahomes, along with 4 sacks and an early exit. Not what you want to see, but the offense, we know it still has plenty of pop. Second in the league, but they have to get back in stride defensively, and the 2-5 G-men well, they're just the team to do it against. The Big Blue defense, a bottom third in all the league, and they're not going to be able to stop that Kansas City run or the pass game because they're going to come into this one and they're going to play angry. I'm going big-time cover City for KC, 28-9. I hope Patrick Mahomes can play because he's my fantasy QB.
There you go. And I just have to throw this out there. Patrick Mahomes is tied with Zach Wilson with 9 interceptions on the season. They lead the NFL. But hey, why don't the receivers just catch the ball? It's going off everybody's hands. This is a message to you, Tyreek Hill. I'm not upset about it. It's still early, but we're going to have to catch the ball.
Coach him up, Lisa. Coach him up.
I'm just throwing that out there. All right, you know I love the numbers. You know I love the context here, so I'm going to dip back in on those next-gen stats. And, Ed, you used those stats earlier in the show to bet the Titans and the Colts game. Now give us 3 stats that you're using to give us some value on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Where are those bets going?
You're morphing into Eric Bieniemy on me, and I don't know how I feel about it. Hey, let's go into the more ways to win time machine here and go all the way back to week 6. Jaguars captured their first win of the season in London. Marvin Jones had a lot to do with it. Here's his route chart from that game. 7 catches out of 10 targets with an expected catch rate over expected of 17.3%, largely utilized on the right side, and Trevor Lawrence was more than comfortable throwing in his direction. Jones's air yard share among all Jags receivers that game was 41.5%. There's still improvement to be made, though. Didn't have a lot of yards after the catch. In fact, his yak over expected was -2. Still, with a rookie quarterback, any offensive success suggests it can be sustained, especially against a Seattle defense. So there are paths for Jones and Lawrence to have big days, so give me the Jags on the money line. Next, do we need to adjust our priors concerning the Atlanta Falcons? Well, they'll be above 500 with a win over Carolina and squarely in the playoff hunt. Here is how quarterback Matt Ryan has fared this season. You see some key areas of the field where he's above league average in passer rating. Matt Ryan has faced a lot of defensive pressure. That's affected his box score numbers. But when you separate what he's done with a clean pocket, it's actually not too bad. His total EPA is 38.5, which is roughly in the middle of the pack. His clean passer rating of 97.8 is slightly around the middle of the pack. And his completion percentage over expected of -0.7%, again, in the middle. Even after his hot start, Sam Darnold's numbers, they do not come close to Matt Ryan's. Atlanta has the quarterback advantage, so I'm going to back the Birds. Finally, Brandon Cooks had a rough outing against the unbeaten Cardinals. He's unhappy for a lot of reasons, as seen by his route chart here. There's 5 receptions for 21 yards, but there are a lot of reasons why this performance was an outlier. His air yard share was still better than 30%, so everyone struggled. Starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor has returned to practice, and once he plays, he will get Cooks going again. Even in just 10 receptions between the two, their success rate is nearly 67%. And lastly, Cooks is still 8th in football in total air yards. The Texans will need Cooks to shine to keep it close against the Rams. I know it's a big number, but I think Houston can cover it.
There it is. He puts the numbers, does the whole thing, spits it out, the models, right, Ed? Thank you. Let's take that information now. You can use it to place your bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. You can, hey, place a wager on the bets we just talked about. Ed rolled them out so nicely for you, or there are hundreds of others available for you right now. All right, time to speed things up. We're going to hit our betting markets with some quick picks now, guys. Shouting out your local teams as we rip through the rest of the Week 8 slate. And, guys, here's how it works. I give you 10 seconds. I give you the game. Then you get 10 seconds, and you give me your pick. So let's roll. And I love this one. 3-3 Pittsburgh heads to 4-3 Cleveland. Big division game here. Pony, you live in Pittsburgh. You've seen both of these teams numerous times. Steelers are getting 3.5.
I know how this one usually goes. Big Ben rested. He's 24-2-1 all time against the Browns. He makes it 25, and the Steelers win the game outright.
All right, Dave, 3-4 Denver hosting 2-5 Washington. These teams have combined for 7 straight losses. Denver is giving 3.
I think I've officially seen enough of Taylor Heineke after sliding before the goal line last week with nobody around to cost me the cover. What an absolute turd. I'm going with Denver.
First time in 4 seasons we've actually used the word turd on the show. Congratulations, Dave. Hey, Cole, you're in Chicago. Coming to you for this one. The 3-4 Bears hosting those 2-4 49ers. Bears are getting 3.5. Who wins this one and by how many points?
Well, Lisa, it's the Underachievers Bowl because Matt Nagy and the coaching staff, they continue to approach this Justin Fields offense like an IKEA bookshelf. They just can't put things together. I think the Bears, they get it back together against the tough San Francisco defense. They win this one 21-17. They squeak it out.
All right, those are your Week 8 rapid-fire picks. Right now, I just need to talk to you, Cole. Come on in. Time now to give some underdogs a little love here. And Cole, this segment is all you. You're back after a couple weeks off, looking well rested, nice and tan. Your streak of 6 straight correct picks still alive, my man. So give me 2 more underdogs that are going to win outright this week. Who you got?
All right, well, first up, the entire season for Detroit, well, it's been a rough patch. We know about that. We're going to get to that one in just a second. But Carolina and Atlanta, I'm going to have to go with Carolina in this one. The Falcons, they've won 3 of their last 4, but it's been versus the G-Men, the Jets, and the Dolphins. They're 4-16 combined. The Panthers, however, they dropped 4 straight, but this is a new week. Every week you can get back on the horse. They win this one 24-21. Now, on the flip side, the one I brought you first, that's Philly at Detroit. The entire season, like you said, well, it's been a rough patch. Dan Kneecap Campbell and those Detroit Lions. But Philly, get this, they scored 20 or more in each of their last 4 games. The problem is that they're 1-3 over those 4. Just a bunch of hollow points for the Eagles, and I haven't seen a whole bunch from these birds, so I'm putting my eggs in the Lions basket. They win this one 20-17.
All right, go ahead and tail those upset picks. Again, Cole has hit 6 straight. They're all there on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now for you. Risk-free, up to $1,000 when you plug in the promo code MOREWAYS1000. All you have to do is sign up for your FanDuel Sportsbook account, and new users do get that risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by plugging in that promo code MOREWAYS1000. And of course, our experts are here to give you their risk-free bet of the week. So let's go around the horn here for Week 8. And Dave, I'm coming to you first. What's your best bet?
I'm going to play a 2-team parlay. I'm going to take the Saints to beat the BUCS outright, and I'm going to buy up the line on the Cowboys. I think they'll win by a touchdown or more. So I'm going to take the alternate spread there, -6.5. I'm surprised this pays so big. It seems so easy. $1,000 gets me $6,700.
Dave, are you stealing my thunder doing an alternate spread? That's rude.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, please don't do that. Alternate spread here for Jacksonville, Seattle. I'm going to take Jacksonville -4.5. They have that extra week of rest. Meanwhile, Geno Smith on Monday night, his EPA per dropback was -0.17 against an okay Saints defense. Seattle's completely falling apart, and Jacksonville is on an uptick right now. $1,000 risk-free bet gets me a total of $3,500.
Hey, Dave, go have some drinks at the Kentucky Castle right down the road from you. I think a guy bought it for or constructed it for his girlfriend, then she dumped him. So that'll be right up your alley. Go check that baby out. I'm going with 2 huge underdogs, 2 long shots. I'm taking Houston and the points with Tyrod Taylor back. Miami with the points. They're losing, but they're more competitive with Tua catching the Bills napping off a bye. Huge payout when you put that 2-team parlay together.
Go ahead, Dave. Check that out and then report back to us a little later. Would love to see how that one goes. Great stuff by you guys. And gamblers, make sure you sign up for your FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place your bet. Remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's all right there on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Easy, legal, live. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money back if you don't. And it is not just football on the show. We're bringing you news from the track as well. And it is almost here. The Breeders' Cup World Championships returns in November to where the turf meets the surf in Del Mar, California. The world's best thoroughbred racehorses will compete for championship honors and more than $31 million in prize money. It's all happening Friday, November 5th and Saturday, November 6th. Tickets available at breederscup.com right now. I will be there. Come out, say hi, and enjoy an incredible weekend with us. And for those of you who cannot make it, you can still enjoy. You can watch all 14 championship races on NBC Sports or TVG. TVG, of course, not only your place to bet the Breeders' Cup, but you can bet every race every day right now by downloading the TVG mobile app. And before we get out of here, guys, let's check out some fun futures bets. And for that, we're going to start with who will win the MVP award. Bills quarterback Josh Allen now the favorite there at +300, followed by Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray as well, tied with the second shortest odds there on your screen. MVP picks, guys. Let's roll. Make your money, Dave. Start us off.
Amazing that Jamar Chase even shows up on that list, but why does he? Because Joe Burrow is on fire. I like Joe Burrow at plus 4,000. If he can cut down on the interceptions, he has 8. If he can go about 4 or 5 games without throwing a pick, he's going to make a huge run.
Well, Jamar Chase is on the board because I'm picking him as my guy with some MVP value here. If you look at EPA among all quarterback wide receiver duos, the number 1 is Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. And there's going to be a wide receiver renaissance when it comes to awards like these. It might as well start this year. 75 to 1's great value.
All right, this is creepy like out of a cheesy Halloween movie. We're giving the Bengals the kiss of death. Because I'm taking Joe Burrow like Dave. Wow. 40 to 1. It's a quarterback award, and he's got the best value. But we jinxed him.
All right, let's see who you jinx on the next one. Cole, go ahead.
I'm not going to waver from my original pick. I'm going Kyler Murray. He's thrown for over 225 yards each and every single game this season. 20 touchdowns overall. He's like a combo of Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson. So you can take that one to the bank. He's taking home the honor.
That's right. My starting quarterback. Had to give that one up for Richard McManus. There you go. Same drill, guys, here, but let's get to our Super Bowl picks. Tampa, Buffalo, Arizona, the 3 favorites here. Dave, where's your money in this market?
You know, we keep saying, where's the value? And I keep picking the Rams because every time they win, their odds never drop. They have the tiebreaker on the BUCS because they beat them already. Unless Arizona runs the table, the Rams are going to host the NFC Championship game when they go to Arizona and beat them. I got the Rams.
Let's talk process here. You probably want to pick a team that's going to get the number 1 seed, and you probably also want a team that is going to have an easy schedule the rest of the way. Well, you could argue that the Tennessee Titans have the easiest schedule among all division leaders up to this point. And if they beat Indianapolis, but even if they don't, they still have a nice, comfortable margin in that division. 19 to 1, great value.
Well, I love the logic, Ed, but I'm going to apply it to the Bengals at 40 to 1. If the playoffs started today, they'd have the bye, and they'd be the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're still long shot odds. I'm taking Cincy.
I feel like all you guys get your news via the radio and WKRP with all these Cincinnati picks, but I'm going to have to go with the squad I had as my dark horse Super Bowl team, the Arizona Cardinals. We know what they've been able to do, plus they have Kyler Murray, and if I'm not mistaken, they were plus 3,600 at the beginning of the year, so you can bet on Cliff Kingsbury and the fellas.
I like it. I like that pick a lot, Cole. Great stuff, guys. How are we already to the end of the show? Well, alas, we are. Game picks, best bets, DFS, we covered it all. It's what we do. Week 8 is here. You can bet it right now. Check out all the bets that we talked about on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. New users, sign up using that promo code MOREWAYS1000. You're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. From all of us here at FanDuel, from the guys on the screen and everybody behind the scenes, thanks for hanging with us today. We'll see you right back here next week, and good luck with your bets.
After an unprecedented year apart, the time has finally come to say, welcome back to the prestige and excitement of witnessing history firsthand. This November, beautiful Del Mar will welcome back the world's best thoroughbreds, the brightest stars and most passionate fans to the Breeders' Cup. One experience that's a breed apart. Tickets on sale now at breederscup.com.